Brothers and sisters, Brother John, Watchman for that great day. I'm blowing the shofar, even though it's past trumpets. Is that okay? Here we go. All right. Well, the reason I've come on here and making a video is because things are happening live as we speak at the UN. And if you will, this is sort of an update, but it's thought. It's a thought that Brother Ronnie and I have had and are sort of seeing something with how it might work out. So we're giving you a scenario. All right. So with that, I'll bring in my brother Ronnie, and we can talk about what we what we both know. We both know that. How do I do it? Get you, get me.
You forgot how to do it.
Yeah, I did. There we go.
All right, brothers and sisters. Hello,
There
how
we
are
go.
you?
All right.
And with that said, I've got a Trump John. No pun intended.
You do it at the end. You do it at the end, brother. Do it at the end.
I will, but I wanted to get one in the beginning.
All right. All right.
I still have it.
Let's get to it. So
Let's get to it.
give us what you were studying.
Hey, this is the beginning of a study. Just thought, okay. So we're gonna try to be as prompt as we can here, brothers and sisters. So I got to studying Luke chapter 3 and how Jesus was tempted in the desert. Okay, for the 40 days. That's actually Luke chapter 4, but I started in chapter 3. So I got curious about tempting. We know that what's going on at the UN. We know that the players are all on stage at the UN. So this temp thing was just kind of at the forefront of my thought. So what I decided to do was I was doing some reading, and I understood that I read a verse or a chapter regarding Tiberius, who had ruled for, he was in his 15th year. I don't know why that stuck out at me, but it did. So with that, I decided that I was going to go ahead and look up those who have been tempted,
Right.
by Satan in the Bible, right? And that's kind of where I went with this. You got to understand, I'm jumping around, so it's not complete. It's thought, okay? So I found some people in the Bible, right? Bible characters, right? That were tempted, and I got down to Ananias and Sophia, and that's in Acts chapter 5. So if you want to read it yourself, you're welcome to. But Ananias and his wife Sophia had been tempted by the devil, and what they did is they sold some land, some property, and they went before the priest and they lied about selling of the property and how much money they got for the property. And so Ananias died. It was rather instantly. They called his wife in 3 hours later, and she too died.
Yeah.
So it got me thinking about all of these things. So I've got a connection. The other thing here is that what's more important, the players on the stage are pretty much right now, we're looking at Benjamin Netanyahu, right? What role is he going to play? Well, I dug into Netanyahu, and believe it or not, collectively as a prime minister for Israel, he's in his 15th year. Oh, just like Tiberius was.
Tiberius Caesar was 15 years, right?
Right, 15 years.
Yep.
Now, I'm not talking about all his collective government service, but as a prime minister, okay, he's in his 15th year.
Wow.
Which is incredible. So then what we were thinking and all our thought is, well, first of all, we're now Benjamin Netanyahu. Let me read the article here. If I still have it. Oh, yeah, here it is. Bear with me a second. So we got this thing. We're looking into Benjamin Netanyahu, and we're like, because he's the player on the stage. So there's a play that's happening that we have never seen before, right? Brothers and sisters, we've never seen this particular play, but it's happening live on stage. We know that this is the year
that we got to go. The rapture's getting ready to happen. 3:30 is the deadline and all that. So 7 years has to begin somewhere around this time, maybe at the UN. So this is our thought. Who is the head of Israel, the prime minister at this point? I'll read something that's on the sideline of the Times of Israel that we were looking into. We actually just looked into looking into the roots of Netanyahu, right, brother Ronnie? So we're looking into his roots. All of a sudden, I look on the left, and here comes up this side, thing that comes up, and it says, Lapid. This is a statement that this past prime minister has said. Lapid, Netanyahu has lost control of his ministers and is a threat to security. And that's quite a statement from an ex-prime minister, or the party that was in there before they, remember when we went through the whole thing with no prime minister. It went on for some years, right? Or at least a year and a half or something, maybe a couple of years. I don't know. It's been so much that's gone, right? But he makes that statement, and then I'm looking on the above him, and there's this thing. An hour ago, ahead of Biden talks, Likud MKs, which is Netanyahu's party, all right, tell Netanyahu no concessions to the Saudis. So see that now we're getting into like contention, and there's something going on that's about to happen at the UN. So
perplexities, right?
Yeah, right. Perplexity. Good. Great. There you go, brother. The sea and the waves roaring. Is it not? Are they, all these hurricanes and things? I mean, this is happening. So then it goes the next thing up. And here's where it really kind of shocked both brother Ronnie and I as we're looking at it. Director of Ben Gavir's, which is the national security minister, just quit. This is like an hour ago.
Right.
So see, there's first the MKs are telling Netanyahu, no concessions, no concessions. All of a sudden, Ben Gvir quits. That's a high authority that is that doesn't look good for what's going on. It creates more right tension, and then 59 minutes ago, hundreds protest outside as Netanyahu Biden meeting. This is all happening right now at the UN.
And what is Biden saying? Essentially what everybody is saying. They want to divide that land.
That's right.
They want to divide that land. And before you go any further, let me read this, brothers and sisters. Leviticus chapter, it looks like 25, verse 23. The land shall not be sold forever. That's two separate words, forever. For the land is mine, for ye are strangers and sojourners with me. Okay, so what is Netanyahu about to do? We're thinking, just thought, is he about to give in to the Saudis and everybody else's demands, hence the reason Ben Gvir quit? And are we there?
And what about Ezekiel, brother? You going to bring that up? Ezekiel chapter 7, I think it's 7. You started at 10 or something in that area. You want to just
well, Ezekiel chapter 7 I think is relevant to this whole study as well. I mean, 7 verse 7 is talking about the day of trouble is near. Okay, I mean, what could that be? We know that's Jacob's trouble.
The time of Jacob's trouble is for 7 years.
Right.
And that's all they've been talking about. And we never really have been this focused on 7 years. Think about it, brothers and sisters. We've never been this focused at this time of trumpets and the full feast. We're always focusing on, in the last, say, 10 or 15 years on what's going on at the UN, if we're watching. But this is different. This is now the time where that 7-year period, or the time of Jacob's trouble, has to start. So we're looking at players. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me read this, because this is quite interesting. Goes directly to what we're talking about, the sale of the land, right? Yeah. Ezekiel 7, verse 13. I'm hoping I wrote it down here right. I'm not reading from the Bibles, brothers and sisters, so don't scream at me. Yeah. For the seller shall not return to that which is sold. Okay?
Yeah.
Although they were yet alive. For the vision is touching the whole multitude. Multitude is very critical in this whole thing. Yeah. The multitude thereof, and which shall not return. neither shall strengthen himself in the iniquity of his life. That's a very interesting verse, being that who would be the seller, John? Who's the seller?
I thought you were going to ask Netanyahu, because he's the head of Israel. I mean, he and his MKs are, I just read it to you. His MKs are saying no concessions, don't do it, don't do it. Remember what was happening in 1948? The nations were saying, don't say it, don't say it. And then Ben Gurion got up and said, today we are a nation. So this is about as important, the start of Jacob's trouble the last 7 years, as it was in 1948. As the nation was founded in one day, just like Isaiah says. And here we are at this time. God, the Holy Spirit is all over me, brother. This is amazing. We're seeing this happening, and we're actually watching in real time. And, you know, we've been watching for so long, and even Ronnie and I, we get tired. We're like, what do you think is going to happen today? And nothing happens, you know, and it's like, okay, maybe tomorrow, you know. The fact is, we're watching this in real time, and we're watching a play that has never been played out. But now, because of the 2030 agenda and the 7 years, it has to start. Got to start. Yeah. And it's got to be a seller. It's got to be someone that is in a position of the seller. And what happened to Ananias and his wife there when they lied, okay, about the details of what they sold?
They died.
So look at the condition, right?
Suddenly.
Oh, interesting. And suddenly, right? That seems to be the phrase lately in the last 3 years about people just passed away suddenly.
And what have they been doing? What have they been doing in Israel? They've been celebrating, correct? What have they been celebrating?
Feast of Trumpets.
There you go. So Ezekiel 7:14. They have blown the trumpet even to make already for what? For celebration, for what? Or the new moon, but none goeth to battle. Oh, you understand that? So they're not preparing for a battle, which is, if they sell this land, we know what's going to happen, right? If they divide the land, they're not preparing for battle. They're celebrating.
And meanwhile, what you told me yesterday, Brother Ronnie, about Hezbollah, that kind of spurred me, because he's like, you know, they're blowing trumpets. They're at the UN. They're calling for peace and calling for, you know, dividing the land and all this stuff. And meanwhile, what did you tell me about Lebanon?
They're vowing to attack Israel. So
yeah, they don't care. They don't care what. If there's a peace plan, they're not going to observe that peace plan. That's why it says peace. They all say peace, 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 but there is no peace.
Oh, it gets better here. It gets better. Remember that word multitude that's in the scripture, 7:13, 7:14? I looked that up in AV 1611 dictionary for you who don't know. It's AV1611.com. And a multitude, we know, it's many. It's a great number, okay? But it also it's called a crowd or a throng. A throng. And I thought, well, let me look up throng. Oh, and lo and behold, it's a crowd pressed into a close body,
right?
An assembly.
Wow.
Where are they at? Drop the mic. Where are they at right now?
The UN Assembly. Wow.
Amazing.
I mean, the words don't lie. This is all the indications of what we're seeing on the earth. Like the heavens are declaring, right? In the Revelation 12 sign, Brother Patrick, you know, showing us his child came through the womb. I mean, it is not stopped. And we're watching now something that we have never seen before. This is so impressive and amazing. And really, to put it, the only way I can put it, this is about as exciting as it gets. And yet, we don't know yet. If we will know, I'm hoping we know for 7 days, but maybe it'll only be a 24-hour. But we're going to know. I really do believe if God gave 7 years, look, could even work out like this, Brother Ronnie, just a thought, that if Netanyahu does what we all kind of think, and this is the time something's going to be done, and he does something and messes his MKs, his party, you know, people up, and does something with concessions, guess what? Not only does that mess up that, but it also, because he's very important in the recent rulings about, you know, what is it with the Supreme Court? in Israel. What was that, Brother Ronnie?
Oh, they changed they had the court ruling, they had the vote, and
yeah, he's been
so they can
instrumental.
override the court.
Right, and that right there makes the hole for the monarchy to come in. All right,
Right.
right now there's the stage is somewhat like this, and the curtain's somewhat opening. We're seeing some of it, but pretty soon that stage is going to be wide open, and we're going to see all. We're starting to see it. That's
And
what
also in the division of the land, that may play a crucial role, having control of the court system, right?
right. That's right.
Right?
And
And it's interesting that Ben Gavir is gone, though. I mean, his government. I mean, right when he's in New York right now.
that is a major thing.
Yeah.
What a time!
You got to keep an eye on that.
What a time for the head of security to, the national security minister to quit while he's at the UN with talking to the Saudis. I mean, this is, the MKs are saying, don't do it. It's brothers and sisters. Wow.
He's on the stage. He's playing his role. People remember, I'm not a politician. I'm not political by any stretch of the imagination, but Trump played a role. All of these people, Biden's playing a role. All of these people are playing roles. Okay. And so is Netanyahu. He's on the stage. And don't forget, okay, just like Ananias and his wife Sophia when they died, okay, after lying, keep in mind Netanyahu is a sick individual. He's got some very serious health issues, and he doesn't look that good. And I'm not saying, and I don't want anything to happen to anybody, but this is all in God's hands.
It's ideas. It's like,
right,
could
thoughts.
this happen, or could that? What will happen next? We're anticipating, like when you watch a murder mystery, right? You're watching the guy. You see some dark figure in a closet, and the guy gets stabbed, and then everything points to someone that you think that's got to be the guy, but then there's a twist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing now. We're observing history. This is it. This is the time that we are waiting for the rapture. What we see is only determined by how long we're here. We could be raptured today, but I think the Lord is going to bring us to a point, and I'm hoping, because it's the mercy of God. It is the great mercy of God to bring us to a point to where we all pretty much go, now that this has happened, or this particular event happened, it's like 7 days, or we're going to know. I do have a feeling that we're going to know. Okay. The wise will know is what the 2030 video that I just posted the other day. If you haven't seen that, 2030 part 2, go watch it. Hour and 42-minute long, but it's all good. And don't worry about the guy doesn't believe in the rapture, or, talk about the rapture. That's fine. What he does in multiple points is show where the end of 2030 meets the road, basically, for Israel to come back into the land, and the 2 sticks in Ezekiel 37 in the hand, which is ruled by the one ruler, which will be Christ, in the 1,000-year millennial starts. So that's 2030. So this has been a blessing. Thank you, Brother Ronnie, for coming.
Yeah, well, thank you, brother. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
All right, now you can give your blast on the shofar.
All right. We should vote. We should get a vote to who does it better.
Ready?
You might have won my All right. God bless you, brothers and sisters. Keep studying. Okay. Keep looking up.
Here shortly. I don't know. I can't say the day or the hour, but I certainly know this. This is historic, what we're seeing. So keep watching.
We don't quit. We don't quit.
Yeah, and if you guys see anything, let me know. Please send me an email quickly. I put my email under all these videos. So God bless you all. Brother John and Brother Ronnie, later.
In the sky.